Geneva. Global Peace and Development Summit. The air was electric. Broadcasts were live in over 70 countries. The hall was filled with leaders, thinkers, and delegates from every continent. Flags from around the world stood proudly behind a glowing, blue stage. At one end, Captain Ibrahim Traoré, calm, resolute, dressed in his olive-green military uniform. At the other, former U.S. President Donald Trump, adjusting his red tie, confident as ever. They had never met, until now. The moderator welcomed the panel. Applause followed. And then Trump spoke. "The world was safer when America led," he said with a smile. "Africa, we gave you billions. And what did we get in return? Nothing." The room fell into a cold, stunned silence. Captain Ibrahim Traoré calmly reached for the mic. No flinch, no hesitation, just truth. "Mr. Trump," he said evenly, "you lied to the world." A gasp tore through the hall. Cameras zoomed in. A woman in the audience covered her mouth. A Kenyan delegate dropped his pen. A French diplomat leaned to his colleague and whispered, "Did he just say that?" Trump blinked, caught off guard. Traoré wasn't done. "You lied about helping us. You lied about our people. You made promises and left us with nothing but debt, sanctions, and sorrow." The translator's voice echoed across the headsets in French, Arabic, Swahili, Spanish. The world leaned in. Trump scoffed. "We gave aid. We saved millions." Traoré paused. "Do you know what your aid did, Mr. Trump? It fed warlords. It killed farms. It crushed dreams. Your corporations came, took our gold, our oil, and left our children starving." The room rumbled with murmurs. CNN cut to breaking news. Traoré confronts Trump at Global Peace Summit. A Nigerian diplomat whispered, "He's saying what we've all wanted to say for years." In a small home in Senegal, a boy watching TV turned to his grandmother. "Grandma? He's not afraid." She nodded, wiping a tear. "That's a real leader." Trump leaned in, red-faced. "I helped your country survive." Traoré didn't raise his voice. He just looked him in the eye and replied, "No, you helped us depend." Silence. Then, a single clap, from the back of the room, then another, and another. Within seconds, the hall erupted. Delegates from Ghana, Bolivia, Bangladesh, even Canada stood, clapping, some with tears, others with fists raised. Trump stood stiff, visibly stunned. Traoré didn't smile. He simply folded his hands and remained still. Somewhere in the back, a journalist whispered into his mic, "We are witnessing history." Outside, crowds watching on giant screens began to cheer. African students held up phones, streaming the moment with captions like, "He said what no one else dared." Inside, Trump muttered into the mic, "They don't understand the full picture." Traoré turned to him, calm but sharp. "Then come see our picture, Mr. Trump. Not from your tower, from our soil." Another round of gasps. Trump's hand trembled slightly as he reached for water. The moderator's voice cut in. "Due to rising tensions, we'll take a 10-minute break." But the fire didn't cool. It spread. Backstage, a young woman approached Captain Traoré. She was trembling, holding a folded note. "I came from Burkina Faso," she whispered. "I lost my father because of what they did. I just wanted to thank you." Traoré opened the note. 7 words, scrawled in nervous, shaky handwriting. "Thank you for giving us our voice." He folded it gently, placed it in his pocket. Said nothing, but his eyes said everything. Back on stage, Trump paced, his team huddled. "You can't let him control the narrative," one advisor said. "He won't," Trump growled. But Traoré wasn't trying to control anything. He was simply telling the truth. The moderator returned nervously. "We'll continue with questions from the public." The first came from a teenager in Mali, watching live. "President Trump, why did your soldiers shoot my uncle? He was only guarding his farm." Trump froze. Traoré turned away for a moment, jaw tight. The room went still again. This was no longer politics. It was personal. Traoré leaned into the mic. "I remember a boy," he said softly. "His name was Adama. He was 12. He loved to draw trees in the sand. His father had a small farm near Jibo. The hall went quiet. One day, a drone flew overhead. The next morning, the boy's body was found with his father. No warning. No trial, just silence. He paused. The official report called it an error. Collateral damage. Trump shifted uncomfortably. Traoré continued. This isn't about anger. It's about pain. A child who never held a weapon, but died with his eyes open. A woman in the front row sobbed. Online, comments flooded. The stream. He's telling our story. I've never cried like this. Why didn't we hear this before? Trump tried to interject. That wasn't me personally. Traoré calmly held up a hand. I'm not blaming a man. I'm blaming a system, one that chose profit over people. And you, Mr. Trump. You represented that system. The hall went silent. Then came a moment that shattered every heart in the room. Traoré slowly pulled a worn photograph from his jacket pocket. This was Adama, he said. The screen, behind him filled with the image. A young boy, barefoot, smiling, holding a pencil and a plastic bag used as a notebook. He told me once, Traoré said, one day I'll draw the whole sky. A soft sob echoed through the room. Then the image changed to a charred tree. Burned. Collapsed. That tree, Ibrahim whispered, was the last thing he ever drew. Trump looked down. The moderator was speechless. Even the camera crew didn't move. Traoré's voice cracked just once. This summit isn't about speeches. It's about souls. About children who dream under bombs. About mothers burying sons. About leaders who shook hands with dictators while we buried our people. He folded the photograph. Silence. Then, across the world, in cities and villages, in schools and refugee camps, people stood up. And for the first time in a long time, the truth stood taller than power. Rows of world leaders sit beneath fluttering flags. On stage, Captain Ibrahim Traoré, steady in olive military uniform Donald Trump, adjusting his red tie. Trump speaks first. The world was safer when America led Africa. We gave billions, and what did we get? Nothing. Silence falls like a stone. Traoré leans forward, gripping the mic. Mr. Trump, you lied to the world. The hall gasps. Cameras zoom in. Diplomats gasp. Pens drop. Trump flinches. Traoré continues. You lied about helping us. You raised promises and left debt, sanctions, sorrow. Your aid fed warlords, killed farms, crushed dreams. A ripple of shock travels through the audience. News flashes. Traoré confronts Trump. Even world leaders watch stunned. Trump tries to scoff. Traoré presses on. Your companies came, took our gold and oil, and left children starving. Trump, I helped your country survive. Traoré, eyes unwavering. No. You made us depend. A single clap starts, then dozens applaud. Tears fill eyes. Trump freezes. Traoré remains calm. Backstage during break, a young woman from Burkina Faso slips Traoré a note. Thank you for giving us our voice. Traoré folds it, eyes moist, slipping it into his pocket. Session resumes. Public Q&A. A teenager in Mali on screen asks, President Trump, why did your soldiers shoot my uncle guarding his farm? The hall hushes. Trump falters. Traoré answers, voice soft. He tells the story of Adama, a 12-year-old who drew trees in the dirt. His father farmed. A drone strike killed them both. Collateral damage, the report called it. He pulls out a photograph. Adama barefoot, smiling, pencil in hand. He said, one day I'll draw the whole sky. What remained was a burned tree. Silence. The camera captures Traoré's trembling voice. This isn't speeches, it's about souls. Mothers burying their sons, soldiers making deals. A Burkinabe children's choir enters. Soft, heart-wrenching lullabies. They sing of fathers who never returned. Rice cooked for missing brothers. Prayers to the sky. A little girl steps forward. We want no revenge. We just want to live. The hall weeps. Traoré holds aloft a dusty notebook found in the ruins. It belonged to Idrissa, age 8. One day I will heal my mother. Inside, a stick-figure family with Mama circled and I love you. Traoré's voice cracks. This is what survived the flames. The room is bathed in raw sadness. Even Trump looks away. This summit, it's not politics. It's truth and justice for those with no voice. Then a former U.S. intelligence officer, James Roth, rises. I was part of Operation Sentinel. We labeled farmers as terrorists to justify strikes and protect mining interests. He weeps. These deaths were no accident. They were strategic. The audience gasps. Delegates drop their heads. Traoré nods solemnly. Outside, a refugee baby's photo arrives backstage, children holding signs. We believe in you, Captain. Traoré holds the image up on stage. I came for them. Not applause, but faces. You had the world's attention, Mr. Trump. You chose deals while villages burned. The gathering falls utterly silent. The moment is shattered only by hope. Promises of investigations, aid, justice. Traoré turns back to Trump. I don't need your hand. I need your honesty. Trump nods, lowers his arm. The summit is forever changed. Taking a spotlight, Traoré kneels beside an empty chair marked Amadou Sawadogo, age 7, absent due to war. He reads aloud a letter from Amadou's mother, already missed her son's voice. Speak the truth, even if your voice shakes. The world needs hearts like yours. The summit stands in tears and hope. If we want peace, we must start with truth. If we want justice, we need courage. If we want a future, we must hear the children crying in the dark. He places the letter on the chair. The hall erupts. Tears, applause, a nation's prayer.